Hello, this is Jamie, and this is Supplier T News. On today's video, we will be discussing the jobs growth for March 2021. But before we get started, as always, if you like this content and want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the video, leave a like, comment, and if you think other people may be interested in this type of content, make sure you share the video. Okay, first things first. We will be discussing the overall jobs report that was just released today, and then we'll get into a more specific look at small businesses and how they're performing. All right, so the first up is the national jobs creation. This includes both large, medium, and small businesses, and this report was given to us, or it was summarized by the CNBC. So as you can see, the title here, Jobs Report Blows Past Expectations as Payrolls Boom by 916,000 in March. This is a really, really good thing, and we're going to get into why that is in a second. So first off, this information is coming to us from the Labor Department. As you can see here in the first paragraph, job growth boomed in March at the fastest pace since late last summer. What they're saying is due to economic growth and an aggressive vaccination effort. Non-farm payrolls increased by 916,000, and unemployment fell to 6%. Now, the reason why this is so big is because there was an estimate that there would be an increase of about 675,000 jobs. So the unemployment rate was hit exactly as people were expected. However, the job growth really blew past expectations. As you can see, the total was the highest since the 1.58 million added in August 2020, which is a little bit tricky when you take a look at that. As we were just coming out of the pandemic, things were opening up, so it was of course going to shoot up that high. Now, there's other pieces here, but there's a couple things I want to kind of highlight here. Number one, a more encompassing measure of unemployment. So let me take a step back. When it comes to unemployment, one of the things that unemployment doesn't take into account is people who are not looking for work. So unemployment only looks at people who are, actively looking for work and employment, I guess you could say. What they try to do here is they try to take a more encompassing measure of unemployment that includes discouraged workers and those holding part-time jobs for economic reasons. And as you can see, that dropped to 10.7% from 11.1% in February. Not sure exactly. I'm not very familiar with that number, so I'm not sure if that's good or bad or reasonable. So I'm going to have to get more information on that as we kind of move forward through the months. But as you can see here, labor force continued to grow after losing more than 6 million American jobs. Just showing you that the forced participation rate is now, or excuse me, another 347,000 workers came back, bringing the labor participation rate to 61.5%. I think they kind of messed out. 61.5% compared to 63.3% in February 2020. February 2020 was right before the pandemic hit in March, so we're slowly climbing back up to where we were before. Okay, so what were the big, industries that we saw rise here? Number one, leisure and hospitality. That was the strongest gain. With 280,000 new hires. Bars and restaurants added an additional 176,000, and then arts and entertainment was in third. And we're going to see kind of small businesses and how they actually affected those, well, two of the three specifically sectors. And this makes sense, right? As the pandemic is opening up, you have things such as like hotels, restaurants, bars, movie theaters, things like that are reopening now. And with the vaccinations happening, obviously people most likely, in my opinion, are feeling more comfortable to visit these places. A couple more other pieces as well. Construction saw healthy gains of 110 new jobs. As well as there's a couple other sectors here: transportation, warehousing, social services, etc. So it's just kind of giving you the full look at what's growing, how we grew, which it appears as if most places, there are a couple places that did drop, once again, which we'll see when it comes to small businesses. But overall, we blew past where we thought we would be, and we're continuing to move forward. I do want to hit on a couple more points before we move forward. Business activity has returned to close to normal levels in much of the country, despite the restrictions, with the tracker by Jeffries indicating that activity is at 93.5% of its pre-pandemic level. We took a look at that 61% participation rate. So yeah, we are climbing back to where we were, and it may, based on how we're growing, we may look at, by the end of the summer, very close, if not the same, to where we were before, which is very good news. And then lastly, at the same time, manufacturing is enjoying a boom, with an Institute for Supply Management gauge of activity in the sector hitting its highest level since late 1983 in March. So overall, very great news. As we continue to reopen, I expect things to get even hotter in terms of growth. What I will say is, it's going to be very interesting, especially now that we have this new infrastructure plan that's supposed to be coming out. I'm not sure exactly when they're trying to, start that, once you go through all the political mumbo jumbo. But if that can hit, I mean, we are looking at good times are coming if that hits when it comes to jobs. So, yep. So it is the national jobs when we are looking at, large, medium, and small businesses. And again, as always, if you like the content that we provide, make sure you subscribe to the video and leave a like. All right. Next up, we're now going to be taking a look at some of the studies that are done for small businesses. So the first one we're going to take a look at is Paychex. Now this was done by Rochester first, so it's going to be a little bit New York specific, but there are some good pieces here. The first big piece is, let me see where it gets to the, here it is. Paychex said in a press release, the small business jobs index increased to 94.25 in March, while the index remains 4.303% below its March 2020 level, which again is the start of the pandemic. Last month 0.3% increase has been the most significant 1 month gain since 2013. So basically what this is saying is that when you're taking a look at small businesses nationwide, we are now seeing increases in it when we come to that, and record increases for small businesses, which is very good. With these reopenings that we're seeing across the nation, states are slowly reopening fully to full capacity. That is only going to continue, in my opinion. I think last I checked there was 3. There may be more, but I know Texas, Florida, and Arizona are open. But as we continue to move, I mean, we're just looking at more growth, in my opinion. Another leading indicator, they said, of the economic strength, hourly earnings reaching 2.98% in its 4th consecutive month of growth. Weekly earnings also increased, rising to 3.58%, a result of growth in weekly hours worked. And again, we're going to see more hours being worked as these states reopen. So a couple of key pieces if you're interested. The South continues to lead all regions in small business job growth. Florida remains the top state for job growth. Makes sense. They're fully open. We're probably going to see some other states hit that as we continue. But the key piece here, leisure and hospitality saw the greatest improvement among industry sectors, up 1%. Now, when we're looking at all industries, leisure and hospitality, we're looking at all types of businesses, so large, medium, and small, we saw leisure and hospitality hitting the mark in terms of being the highest. And as we can see here, it may be due to the fact that for small businesses, this was the leading industry as well. So we're seeing some similarities when we're talking about small business growth as well as the national growth itself, which is a good thing, and it should be expected. Next up, we're going to take a look at 2 reports as well. The CBIZ Small Business Employment Index. Once again, more great news. They report a seasonal adjusted increase of 0.86%, so a little bit more than the Paychex for March 2021. As you can see, the CBIZ, in case you're curious, tracks payroll and hiring trends for over 3,500 companies that have 300 or fewer employees. So as we take a look here, hiring growth was also, I apologize. If you take a look at another employment index, which is ADP, and Moody's employment report, they revealed an uptick of over 500,000 jobs in the private sector on a month-to-month basis. The boost for small business jobs was 174,000 of that, which again, it appears if the ADP and Moody's report count small businesses with companies with 49 or fewer employees. So we're getting a pretty nice combination here. ADP with under 50. CBIZ with under 300. Now, the trend here we want to take a look at, it's a little bit different. With Paychex, it was the South that was the leading piece, whereas with the CBIZ, the Northeast was leading in terms of hiring. But regardless of what industry is leading, I mean, everything's going pretty well, again, with small businesses. And in addition, while hiring increased in construction and financial services, boost in arts and entertainment, as well as accommodation and food services were particularly noteworthy. Arts and entertainment, obviously, we were just talking about things like movie theaters, restaurants and bars, things like that. This is these are the key pieces. And again, this is being reflected. CBIZ is showing you the restaurants and bars and entertainment spots, and then Paychex showed you that the leisure and hospitality was growing. So again, we're just kind of matching with what we saw in the original report. So if we take a look at a couple of snapshots, 26.3% of companies in the index added to their headcounts. We're again just more great news. What's next in terms of economic recovery, regional and industry data will continue to be telling for the small business sector moving into the second quarter of 2020. Kind of obvious, but nevertheless, I agree. All right. Okay, here we go. This one is from the National Federation of Independent Business. I believe this is the one that was the short one. Yep. So nothing too big here. Just again, more good news here. As you can see here, some 42% of firms had job openings last month, and 56% of owners reported adding workers or trying to hire in March. What this one is really showing us that firms are trying to find talent, but there are tons and tons of openings for small businesses as they're looking to get back to full capacity. So once again, National Federation of Independent Business, very well known for small businesses, but kind of just showing you that people are hiring. As you can see here, over 90% of owners looking to hire reported few or no qualified applicants for the jobs they were trying to fill last month. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that, again, people are looking to hire. And as people are looking to hire, we will probably, most likely, now that, again, things are opening, we'll most likely see more people looking to, whether you feel this is good or bad, looking to switch jobs, looking to get higher pay, now that they're feeling safer, now they're being vaccinated. So just more good news. The last piece that we're going to be showing, let me hop on back there. I apologize. The last thing we're going to be showing, okay, so we actually went through everything. So we hit the NFIB. Yep, okay, so we've hit everything. Okay, perfect. With that being said, as you can see, just great positive news all around. I'm pretty sure, if you are a small business fan, this is great news. As things are opening up, things should continue to be positive signs. And then once again, if we can get that, if we can transition to that infrastructure plan, and it is, a deal is able to be worked out, we are looking at very, very good times ahead for everyone over the next couple of years. So, let's see where this goes. A lot of opportunities here. Again, positive for March. Let's hope that this continues. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to what I have to say. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe to the video, leave a like, comment, and share with other people who you may feel may want to watch and hear this information. So, with that being said, thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.